Randy Johnson has it.
Good evening. I hereby call this regular meeting of Nacogdoches ISD Board of Trustees to order. Let the record show that a quorum is present and the notice of this meeting was posted as required by Texas Open Meeting Act. Board member Reverend Pitcock is not here yet, but I assume she is on the way. Thank you for joining us tonight, and our first order of business is conduct an executive closed session. The board will now conduct executive closed session to discuss the items posted on our agenda pursuant to the following provision of Texas Open Meeting Act and allowed by Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.089, and 551.129. No voting take place in this closed meeting. Any decision or any action the board wishes to take as the result of discussions in closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in open session. It is now time 5:01. We will not be coming back until 6 p.m. Board is now reconvening to open session. Time is 6 p.m. At this time, I will ask Dr. Groman to give tonight's invocation, please.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your love and your watch care over us today and each day. And we thank you that those that are ill or need healing can find that through you, particularly for our superintendent, Dr. Trujillo, and others on our staff and that work here with us, and all the students and their families. We thank you for caring for us, and we thank you so much for the people who've shown up tonight so that we might celebrate with them and recognize them and honor you for what you do through the teachers and others that have these things come about. Now, we just ask that wisdom be displayed and self-discipline be demonstrated as well. We ask this in the loving name of our counselor and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Groman. The principal of McMichael Middle School, Mr. Gerald Fonzie, and Mr. Tovar and Mrs. Sanchez will introduce the cheerleaders and the student council member to lead us to the pledges to the flags.
Good evening, President Nirman and board. And so, McMichael, we kind of double booked ourselves tonight. We have National Junior Honor Society inductions happening. And so a lot of our student council members are being inducted into that as we speak. And so they were not able to join us, but Mr. Tovar is their sponsor, and he's here as a representative for them. But we also brought the loudest and proudest group of students, our cheerleaders, who's going to help lead us through the pledges. So if you guys could stand. And so one neat thing about this group, this was our first year ever competing in a cheerleading competition, and these young ladies placed in first place. So we want to congratulate them for that. So we'll start with our sponsors and kind of let them introduce themselves.
Hello, President and Board and everybody else. I'm Mr. Tovar. I am the Student Council Advisor.
Hello, I am Susanna Sanchez. I'm the cheer coach and I teach 8th grade English as well.
Hi, I'm Josie and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Rayleigh and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Lydia and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Jessie and I'm in 7th grade.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I, Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, students.
We all three officers here tonight. That's what I'm wondering. Some type of threat.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the sponsors. And thank you, parents, for bringing the students to tonight's meeting. Okay, at this time is a celebration information item. And a first student will be recognized by Mr. Les Linebarger in CTE first.
Good evening, President Nirama and board members. February is National CTE Month, and tonight, Coy Van Valkenburg joins us along with some of her CTE student ambassadors, and I believe they're going to have a video to show us at some point as well. So, Ms. Van Valkenburg, please come on up.
Good evening, President Neermud, board members. Thank you for having us tonight to recognize our CTE program for National CTE Month. Just a few things about our CTE program. First off, I do want to say thank you to all of you guys for your continued support for all of our programs, our students for sure, and some of the crazy ideas that we throw together and throw at you for permission sometimes. So just to highlight our CTE programs, our mission is to obviously prepare our students when they leave NHS. And it doesn't matter, everyone's journey looks different when they leave us. And so we want to make sure that we prepare them in every way possible, whether that's they're going to college, they're going to trade school, or they're preparing for the workforce. And so hopefully we can provide them those skills, some insight to making those decisions to what their future may hold, to prepare them for that next step. And so with that, we have 30 teachers throughout the district that are part of our CTE program, and that's at the McMichael campus, the NHS campus, as well as MCAS. And so we're able to provide those opportunities to those students through 15 programs of study that we offer with multiple industry-based certifications to prepare those students. Tonight, we want to take a chance to highlight some of our students and some of the things that we do to help prepare them. The students that you see sitting here right now, they are some of our CTE student ambassadors. And so they have been selected by their program teachers to represent their program, be the face of their program, and be a highlight for what their program has to offer, and be a great representative for NISD as well. And so they have done a great job. Each of these students, this is not all of our student ambassadors, but they also prepare and come in before the start of school to prepare for leadership activities, customer service, and just being able to make things happen to highlight our CTE programs and those opportunities for not just themselves, but also our other students throughout the district. One thing I want to highlight, and most of our students that you see sitting here are part of our career and technical education student organizations, and multiple of those students have already competed and have qualified for the state competitions either in March or April that were coming up. And so our current teaching and learning, they're actually at competition currently as we speak, preparing to see if they get to advance as well. But over the past month, we have had multiple students qualify for a state competition. We've had a student qualify for HOSA from our health science organization, TPSA, our law enforcement. We have multiple students who have qualified for state. We also have students in Skills USA competitions through cosmetology, construction, and automotive. We also, Skills USA, will have 2 representatives as area officers for Nacogdoches High School at Skills USA. And so those are some of the highlights, and some of the other programs and activities that we do that these students get to take part in and help put on are our resume writing, our discussion panels, our mock interviews, and then also our career fair that we get to put on during April when we partner with Workforce. And of course, most of these students will be taking part in our CTE signing day in May. And so one of the things that they have worked hard at helping us put together, and that you will see in our highlight video, is our 8th grade day. Is because as those 8th graders start to make their choices, we want them to be exposed to what we have to offer at NISD and make an informed, educated decision. And so that is multiple parts that they get to learn about the programs, but also come out and tour our facilities and talk to the students like the ones you see sitting before you. And so that's where this video, if you'll turn your attention to the screen, is we have a short video that highlights those 2 days that we had over 350 8th graders on NHS campus.
So I thought I needed
So I thought I needed. Thought I needed. So I thought I needed. You make you make So I thought I needed. So I thought I needed. Thought I needed. So I thought I needed. You make you make
So that's just a recap of our day, and many of these students that you see, you guys can come on up. That you see before you, you saw in that video as well that they were really given their selling points and highlights. And one thing that I will tell you that I tease them about is they were exhausted by the end of those 2 days, and they got a real insight to what it's like to be a teacher day in and day out and have to be on and be teaching those students about what the CTE programs are. So I'm going to pass the microphone down, and I'm going to let these students introduce themselves and tell you what program of study they are in. And if you have any questions for them afterwards, please feel free.
Good evening. I am Bianca Garcia, and I represent the culinary program.
Good evening. My name is Juan Perez, and I represent Culinary Arts.
Good evening. My name is Benjamin Knapp, and I represent the Construction and Cabinet Making program.
Good evening. My name is Diego Hernandez, and I represent Military Science.
Good evening. My name is Jimena Olvera, and I represent Law Enforcement.
Good evening. My name is Ariana Lopez, and I also represent Law Enforcement.
Good evening. My name is Alondra Beltran, and I represent Medical Billing and Coding.
Good evening. My name is Peyton Pierce, and I represent the Animal Science Program.
Good evening. I'm Anna Claire McKenzie, and I represent the Real Estate Marketing and Sales Department.
While we're in a lull, I wanted to say your sacrificial leadership is based on your teachers and mentors showing you, and you are showing others now your leadership skills. And this will follow you in your lifetime. Now, I know some of you have been like 3 years in the RTC, president of FFA. Yeah, and so you do other leaders and you participate in things. You don't know the footsteps you're making for the students that are in the 8th grade and below, because people have family, they have little brothers and sisters and stuff. So I'm very impressed with what you do and how you do it, because you are dragon-hearted Nacogdoches High School students and learners. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. The best gift I have ever received made by the hands of a student came last month. And all of us grabbed those things and took it home. And I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to put it all. It's like a mini thing that's on the outside of the CT building. It's shrunk down, but it's not very shrunk. And we all were like fighting over, okay, don't get mine. So thank you. That's really thoughtful. And there are things that you have all done that's good for the good of our program here, whether you're here or when you go away to compete, because you all have a competitive spirit. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are future leaders of young people. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Monday.
You guys know you're tall. Be in the back row.
Okay, that's fine. You want to read the document, it's fine. If you want to read the document, it's fine. Thank you again.
All right, board members, we're going to continue here. Thank you very much, Ms. Van Valkenburg. That was great stuff right there. That video was outstanding. Last Wednesday, February 7th, Nacogdoches High School had 8 students sign letters of intent to play their respective sports in college. And tonight, joining us is Darby House. Coach House, come on up. Coach House is a head football coach and athletic director at NHS. So he's going to come up, he's going to introduce some folks.
Thank you, everybody, for having us. Board, I want to thank you for taking the time and let me recognize our athletes. Athletes, if y'all could come up. We're extremely proud. We have 3 that could not make it tonight. Akis Williams, LJ Leeden, and Andrew Rogers. They're competing in powerlifting right now. And I actually got word before we got here that Andrew squatted 700 pounds tonight and broke the record at Garrison. And so they're doing great things over there in powerlifting as well as football. And so LJ and Akis are signed to go to Texas College. And Andrew is going to go with Braxton to Southern Arkansas. And so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these young athletes introduce themselves and tell you where they were accepted to.
Good evening. My name is Samantha Rodriguez, and I'm accepted to Wiley University.
Yeah. What sport?
I'm playing soccer.
Soccer.
Good evening. My name is Diana Garcia, and I'm also attending Wiley University, and I also will be playing soccer.
My name is Mikael Lockett. I'll be attending Mary Hardin University, and I'll be playing football.
Good evening. I'm Jalen Brown. I'll be attending Michigan State University, and I'll be playing football.
Did you say Michigan State?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. My wife got her degree there.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Braxton Jones. I'll be playing football at Southern Arkansas University.
So a couple little things. So Diana has played 4 years on Our Lady Dragon Soccer, 2 years on varsity, 2 years as a varsity captain. She's a leader on and off the field and has always been a coachable player. She's well-rounded and a great asset. Samantha has also played 4 years, and all 4 years on varsity, 2 years as a captain. Energetic and passionate on and off the field, extremely hard worker, and averages 1 to 2 goals per game, which is extremely impressive in soccer. She's put in years of effort and is one of the best left foot shots we've ever seen. And so we're excited for them. On the boys' side, we'll start with Jalen Brown. This year he has second all-time for a single season in reception, was with 55, second in yards in history with 908, and he's the current leader in touchdown receptions for a season with 11. Mikhail holds the record for passing yards in a season with 2,582 and is second in touchdowns with 25. Braxton holds the record for 163 total tackles in a season, along with 95 solo tackles. He had 20 tackles for losses and 6 sacks. LJ ended up with 47 receptions for 763 yards and 6 touchdowns. Andrew had 71 total tackles, 26 tackle for losses, 7 sacks, and 30 hurries. Those are a lot of stats thrown at you real quick, but what it means is these are a great group of young men and women, and we're super excited to see where their future holds. And the second they step on the field, you'll see me on the sideline cheering them on. So I'm excited for all of them. They have great potential, and go Dragons.
Coach. I also like to congratulate you. As a former athletic director, I know the other coaches highly think of you. That's why you become all first team, all district, or so on. Second, all the players know, and you are going to be representative of Nacogdoches ISD, your family, the city of Nacogdoches. As soon as you go to any college or any friend, first thing they ask you, where you from? Second question, they ask you, what school did you go? So you are representative of all NISD students and the city of Nacogdoches. I was fortunate to coach Ms. Garcia's dad. I was very fortunate to be athletic director when your brother was playing. Brandon. And I remember during the recruiting, the recruiters come every day and ask questions about the character. So it is very, very important. I am so proud and happy you all get those opportunities and take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Make a name for yourself, for your family, for your school, for your city. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'll be watching you play at Michigan State.
Take your coat, man. It's cold up there.
Everything you've done took time and sacrifice. And thank goodness that you paid attention to your grades. Reflect that down to the kids that are following you in your footsteps. You still have traction to affect this program in all different areas. Use what you have to influence others to do their best, just like you have. Thank you.
And thank your parents.
Yes.
You want to be in the front?
No, it's going to be.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, man.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Wasn't that some great student presentation?
Absolutely.
CTE and the athletes are here.
Now, at this time, we have superintendent's announcement and report, and unfortunately, Dr. Trujillo is under the weather. Mr. Les Linebarger is going to be reporting.
Yes, thank you, President Neriman. I'm going to step in for Dr. Trujillo tonight and share his report of, I think he likes to call it, his report of good news. And, man, we've got good news to share. I mean, you've seen some of it here already tonight. Always something good going on in Nacogdoches ISD. Now, I mean, we just had some of our athletes up here, and some of those guys play basketball as well. It's been a great year for basketball in Nacogdoches ISD. Our Lady Dragons finished third in district and qualified for the playoffs for a second straight season. The NHS boys have won 22 games. They finished second in district, and they've got a playoff game Tuesday night in Rusk against Hallsville. Well, McMichael Middle School is right there with them. The 7th grade girls finished 11-1 this year. Those 7th grade girls went 9-0 in the regular season, ended up finishing as the runner-up in the district tournament. And the 8th grade boys went 15-0. They won the regular season district title. They won the district tournament, and they beat our neighbors from south of the Angelina 3 times this season. So, man, they've had a great season. I know Coach House is excited about that group of 8th graders that are going to be going to the high school next year. There's a lot of athletic ability in that group, and there's a lot of good kids, too. And I see Miss Shantae Rogers back there. Her son is a part of that group. And it's 3 years ago, I mistook him for a teacher at Carpenter. That's how tall he is. So that's a great group of kids there. Dr. Trio also wanted to mention about we've got 7 students from Nacogdoches High School who have qualified for the Texas Science and Engineering Fair that's going to take place next month in College Station. Grace Howe, Catherine Boyette, Sterling Smith, Rogelio Garcia, Sam Bentley, Viviana Chavarria, and Selene Puffer will show their projects March 22nd and 23rd at the statewide event. Now, they advanced to the state meet after doing really well last weekend in Kilgore at the regional science fair. And one of those students, Selene, she had to show her project virtually because she's also on the swim team, which is the natural transition into our annual announcement that NHS swimmers have once more qualified for the state swimming and diving meet month. Olivia Whitaker, Jocelyn Lopez, Mickey Puffer, and Carly Scroggins will be in Austin February 23rd and 24th. That's next weekend. The Dragons finished 3rd overall in the regional swim meet last weekend in New Caney. So it's another outstanding performance by that swim team. And then finally, and this came in here at the last couple of days, Dr. Trujillo learned that our academic UIL team from the high school won the meet competition in Livingston over the weekend, beating out 18 other schools. I mean, they just did a fabulous job.
That is wonderful.
And I know that, they've still got some more meets coming up. They'll get into district competition, which they did very well there last year. So I know Mr. Autry was really proud of those guys, and he was texting me this week to make sure we knew about it and could push that on out. So, President Niraman, that's all we've got tonight of good news for right now.
Thank you. It's not on our schedule, however, I remember Dr. Trujillo mentioned that Chief Barton is going to introduce his new officers for us.
Well, come on up, Chief Barton.
As you know, we're trying to, rebuild the department. We took a little hit on manpower, and we're slowly but surely starting to build back up. This is our new hire. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
My name is Dylan Cook, and I've been here about 2 weeks now. Not too long, but I love it here.
You're in the right place.
Where you from? I'm from Garrison. I worked up in Marshall for a little while, and now I'm back here.
Oh, good.
Come back home.
Good.
Good for you.
Do you have somebody in the back?
Those are the 2 guys that stuck it out with me. So,
Yes. Oh, okay, good.
They've been here for a while.
Look familiar.
So
how many do we have now?
Right now, currently, there's the 4 of us, but then we got 2 more that's going to start in March, and then we got 3 in the HR process.
Okay. Great. Congratulations. Good job.
I wanted to just say one thing about the swim relay team. there's 4 women on that team, and Olivia Whitaker is a freshman, and Jocelyn Lopez is a sophomore, and Mickey Puffer is a junior, and we have a Scroggins. We have Carly Scroggins, the only senior. But what a way to go out in your senior year and bring all of those lowerclassmen with you. We are really blessed to have such a good swim coach. Coach is.
Okay, at this time, we will proceed with the public hearing regarding the Texas Academic Performance Report, better known as TAPER. After the presentation, members of the audience will have an opportunity to make comment. Comments would be limited in only 3 minutes and must pertain to the TAPER. At this time, I call Ms. Ashley Boyett, Director of Assessment and Accountability, to begin the presentation.
Good evening, President Nermond and board members. So tonight, we're going to go over the annual report. This report is going to focus on information from the 22-23 school year, and it's the same report, or very similar information that we gave in the September presentation. The annual report has 8 different sections: the TAPER reports, PEIMS financial reports, the district accreditation status, campus performance objectives, reports on violent and criminal incidences, student performance in post-secondary institutions, progress towards the House Bill 3 goals, and then I've also included the TAPER glossary if y'all have any questions. Section 1 is the TAPER, and the TAPER is a comprehensive information of how our students have done. It includes a wide range of information about student performance, district and campus performances by student groups, and it also provides information on the school and district staff, the different programs, student enrollment, and demographics. On the cover page, it's going to look different this year than it has in years past because of the injunction due to the A through F ratings that have not been released. And so all that is on the cover page this year is the district name and or the campus name and the number. So for STAR performance, there's the 3 levels that are on the TAPER: the approaches, meets, and masters. And all of the data that is there has 2 years. It'll have the 22 school year and then the 23 school year. This is a trend report showing how our scores have trended in all grades and all subjects for the past 5 years. Approaches stayed steady with 63%, and meets and masters showed a slight decrease. But this was also something that we saw across the state due to the new tests, the new methodology, and all of those things that we mentioned earlier this year. Student programs are only reported for the spring of 2023 due to the changes in the methodology that we also talked about in September. So the annual growth isn't a part, the academic growth is not a part of the TAPER this year. Bilingual education is also a part of the TAPER report. It looks very much like the other parts of the TAPER where it is desegregated according to all these different things. There's also STAR performance, annual growth, and accelerated learning for the bilingual education also. STAR participation, we have stayed steady with great participation, and I just want to thank all of our campuses and campus administrators and testing coordinators for doing a great job of making sure that our students are here to test during that 2-week testing window. That's excellent to have a consistent 98-99% participation rate. Our annual dropout rate, so the TAPER, it lags 2 years for this part, and so we're actually looking at 22 graduates whenever we look at this, and this chart shows NISD is the blue, and so we can see that our dropout rates are significantly less than the state's dropout rates, which is really great. The 4-year and extended graduation rate, also, we have a higher graduation rate than the state whenever we look at the 4th-year graduation and the 5th-year graduation. And that is When a student enters high school in ninth grade, then it follows them. So the four-year graduations are the ones that graduate in 4 years, and then that might be held back, that graduate 5 years. And so the state looks at the highest of those, which ours is the 96.9%, which is significantly higher than the state. CCMR, College Career Military Readiness, is another part of the taper, and we can see a huge increase in the past 2 years of our CCMR. So I'd just like to say thank you to the high school and their administrators and Ms. Van Valkenburg. You saw the CTE students here today. It's a great program, and you can see that it's really growing. The taper also talks about other parts of the college and career military readiness. The TSI test is something that our high school and Margie Chumbley give several times throughout the school year. I put a snippet of the AP section in there. Our AP participants have increased significantly, almost 15% over the past year, and that's another shout out to the high school, making sure that our kids have lots of options that are going to be really good for them for post-secondary education. Other post-secondary indicators is the dual credit. We've had an increase in dual credit, and we've also seen an increase in the number of our graduates that are enrolled in Texas higher educations. This is just some longitudinal data of our enrollment numbers. You can see that our enrollment has a slight increase from last year, and as far as the ethnicity breakdown, it's about the same as it has been in years past. We're going to move into the staff information now. So the average years of experience for NISD has grown, and so now average years of experience of our teachers is 10 years and 6 years with the district. So you can see that every year we have increased in the number of years our teachers are staying with us. This slide is the teacher turnover rate. So you can see our turnover rate has increased, but I put the state data on there also because you can see that this is a problem that we're seeing across the state of Texas. It's not isolated to Nacogdoches, which is why, you know, teacher incentive allotment and the other things that we're doing is great so that we can get and retain teachers. This is the student enrollment. So you can see that last year in the 2023 school year, CTE passed bilingual, which was always the highest enrollment, but now CTE is the highest enrollment, followed by bilingual, then special ed, then gifted and talented. So now we're into the second part of the annual report, which is the financial standards report. And so in the 21-22 school year, the general fund unassigned fund balance was 53% of the general fund and total balance expenditures. Now in section 3, this is our accreditation status, and we are accredited for the 22-23 school year. Section 4 are the campus performance objectives. So each campus has developed and implemented campus improvement plans. They've been approved by the school board, and the performance objectives and the measure and the growth towards those objectives are all in this campus performance objectives report, and it will be on our district website. Report on violent and criminal incidences. There were 52 incidences at NISD last year, and here's a chart with very tiny little numbers that represents those, and you can see the identifying factors for those. Post-secondary data. This also lags, so whenever we're looking at this data, we are looking at the 2020 graduates. And so this report right here shows that our graduates enrolled in the Texas post-secondary education institutions, this does not represent graduates that go out of state. So these are just the ones who go to Texas institutions. So our numbers are higher than this, as we've seen, you know, some of our graduates are out of state. Section 7, this is our progress towards the House Bill 3 goals. The House Bill 3 goals is something we also talked about in September. So this is just a snippet of kind of where each of our campuses are and our districts are. Shows the progress that we've made by each campus. And then the bottom box, again, is the CCMR for our high school, and where you can see that increase for the district. And then Nacogdoches, we have a 20% for the high school. And then Margie Chumbley also has seen a significant increase in the CCMR, helping our kids be ready for that next step. Section 8 is the glossary that just kind of explains all of the things that are in the TAPER report. And then all of this will be posted on the website within 2 weeks, and if anyone has any questions, my information is here. And then copies will be made and given to all of the campuses, and there'll be one at the district level too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there any comment among the public? If not, this concludes our public hearing. Thank you. Now, we're in a public comment. We have not received anyone willing to address the board. However, if anyone wishes to address the board in the future, the instructions of how to sign up are on the meeting notice. At this time, we're in a consent agenda. Excuse me. Unless removed from the consent agenda, all items listed will be acted on with one motion. If there is a board member who wishes to discuss an item of a consent agenda separately, please indicate the letter, and we put that on the side for further discussion and a separate vote. Is there any questions? I ask for a motion if the case.
Mr. President, I so move that the board approve the consent agenda.
A second.
Okay, Reverend Irvin and Ms. Apt, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now, discussion and action agenda again. We have 2 items on discussion and action. Before I go further, there is no additional action resulting from executive closed session. Next is consideration of the board action, if any, on the second reading of a local policy, GKG, Community Relations and a School Volunteer Program. Mr. Michael Martin, Assistant Superintendent.
Thank you, President Norman, members of the board. This evening, in your board book, page 1165, you'll find a copy of second reading, local policy GKG, Community Relations, School Volunteer Program. As a result of the Senate Bill 763, the board has the option to adopt a resolution affirming the practice of allowing chaplains to serve as volunteers. The district has not previously adopted a local policy regarding the practice to allow volunteers or chaplains. A policy was drafted in consultation with the TASB Legal and Policy Services. A copy has been put in the board book for the review of the board. The administration is recommending that the board approve the second reading of policy GKG local as presented. I'll be happy to answer any questions the board has.
Do you have any questions? If not, I take a motion.
I move that we approve the second reading of policy GKG local as presented.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passed. The next one is, excuse me, consideration of the board action, if any, on the resolution regarding policy DP local, school chaplains. Again, Mr. Michael Martin.
Thank you, President Norman. Again, as a result of Senate Bill 763, it authorizes the districts to employ chaplains or accept chaplains as volunteers to provide support services and programs for students as assigned by the board. These provisions apply beginning with the 2023-24 school year. While the board does not currently, you passed your policy just a moment ago, and now the board has the opportunity to adopt a resolution that would put our current practices into policy.
Yes, sir. At this time, I ask Ms. Leah Beth to read the resolution.
Okay. This is the resolution of the board to employ or accept as volunteers chaplains. Whereas Section 23001 of the Texas Education Code permits the district to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain to provide support services and programs for students as assigned by the board. Whereas Senate Bill 763, passed by the 88th Texas Legislature, requires each school board to take a record vote between September 1st, 2023 and March 1st, 2024 on whether to adopt a policy authorizing a campus of the district to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain under Education Code Chapter 23. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Nacogdoches Independent School District hereby will not permit a district campus to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain to provide support services and programs for students at this time. I make a motion that we accept this resolution as read.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor indicate saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passed. Okay. Thank you.
No. Correction, did you intentionally say not?
Well,
Yes, this is not.
Not.
No. In other words, we remain
It should
as
be another
we
one.
are.
Should be 2. Option 2.
It should
Vice
be
President.
2?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was misinformed. Let me can I reread the whole thing to make it official? Okay,
Yes,
while
it
I'm
do.
rereading it, I have a question.
Option 2.
Just option 2.
Right.
The motion and
Yeah.
improvement is
Yeah.
null.
All right.
You got one by me, Ms. L.
I guess it's record vote, not record vote. Okay. Resolution of the board to employ or accept as volunteers chaplains. Whereas Section 23001 of the Texas Education Code permits the district to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain to provide support, services, and programs for students as assigned by the board. Whereas Senate Bill 763, passed by the 88th Texas Legislature, requires each school board to take a record vote between September 1st, 2023 and March 1st, 2024 on whether to adopt a policy authorizing a campus of the district to employ or accept as a volunteer a chaplain under Education Code Chapter 23. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Nacogdoches Independent School District hereby affirms the practice of a district campus permitting a chaplain to provide support services and programs for students in accordance with the district's existing GKG local policy.
That's it.
I would like to ask that the board approve this resolution as read.
Okay.
I just want some clarification. So what we are saying, because we just voted on not having chaplains in the school. So we're taking that vote away and we're voting,
On the correct.
which still says
We will have.
we will allow them to come in and do counseling?
No.
It just
Support.
says,
We support,
Okay, but that could mean a lot of things. That's not,
we support the existing program that we have. which
Okay.
that-
That's
okay.
right, that it says it,
will fall under the volunteer.
Under the policy
yes.
that we've already adopted.
Okay.
Okay.
Read the final motion. Read the motion.
So we need a second, is that correct?
Yes, she already made the motion. We need
So
a
I
second.
will second it.
Okay, all in favor, indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I know.
Okay,
I just thought.
Board, do you all have anything that you want to be on the future agenda? If not, I seek a motion for adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
Okay, we adjourn, and time is 7.
She needs to read it.